What is up, boys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Grant, and on my channel, I talk about my perspectives of life, the experiences that I've had, and just, throw out some ideas for you to think about on a daily basis. Today, I'm going to be talking about what nobody warns you about your 20s. When you're a kid, everyone tells you your 20s are supposed to be the best years of your life. You're supposed to have freedom, money, friends, relationships, the body you've always wanted, the confidence you've always wanted. Basically, you're supposed to have everything figured out. Then you turn 23, 25, 27, and you realize something. Nobody has any idea what they're doing. And honestly, it's terrifying. I think our 20s might actually be the most confusing decade of our lives. I think one of the biggest reasons people in their 20s struggle is because we're comparing ourselves to an invisible timeline. I mean, think about it. By 25, people expect you to know your career, have money, maybe own a house, maybe be engaged, maybe even have kids. But where did those expectations come from? Was it your parents, movies, Instagram? Or did you just absorb them without ever questioning them? Because if you really think about it, there isn't one correct timeline. Some people get married at 23, others meet their person at 35. Some people become successful at 22, others don't find their purpose until 40. So, why do we act like we're failing just because our story doesn't match someone else's? I don't think humans were designed to compare themselves to thousands of people every single day. 20 years ago, you compared yourself to your classmates, maybe your coworkers. But now you wake up and before you even brush your teeth, you're looking at a billionaire, a fitness model, a guy your age driving a Lamborghini, someone proposing in Greece, buying a waterfront house, or making six figures online. And your brain doesn't stop and think that's one in a million. It just says, why isn't that me? And it could be extremely exhausting. So here's something that I've noticed: nobody ever posts the ordinary parts of their life. Nobody uploads the Tuesday afternoon where nothing's happening. Nobody uploads the anxiety before a job interview. Nobody uploads the nights where they question every decision that they've made. Social media makes everyone's life look like a movie, but real life, it's mostly ordinary. It's repetition, it's waking up, going to work, going to the gym, cooking dinner, and going to sleep. And then you just repeat that. And strangely enough, that's where your future is built. I think we confuse uncertainty with failure. Just because you don't know exactly where you're going doesn't mean you're going in the wrong direction. Think about every successful person you've ever looked up. How many of them have had their life completely figured out at 25? Probably not many. The difference wasn't that they had all the answers, it's that they kept moving while they were still figuring out the questions. So, if you're in your 20s and you feel behind, I want you to remember something. You're comparing your everyday life to someone else's highlight reel. You're judging yourself for not having a life that doesn't actually exist. Maybe you don't need a completely different life. Maybe you just need more patience. Because if you keep showing up and you keep learning and trying, one day you'll look back and realize the years you thought you were lost were actually the years that built you. And maybe that's what your 20s is really for: not to have life all figured out, but to become the kind of person who eventually will.